From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. Live on air from the shores of Santa Monica, California, with those MSCs being obtained by the viewership of this channel. The members overnight got their MSC checks, and I'll show you how to get yours as well in today's recording. And they also got their fourth stimulus checks, killing it. The members are killing it. I'll go over the latest details about these MSC checks landing and the big money for the fourth stimulus. It's the homeowners grant. And we're going to go over those big sums of money across today's recording direct on air. But first, we're going to start with the Build Back Better Act, which will pass, says the president and also Congress. CR getting a new hack at it after it was passed less than 2 weeks ago with that county stimulus in there. The latest details on that. That SS 300 JPALs attempt to reduce inflation, but guess what? The new analysis says that JPAL doesn't have the tools. Good for your SS300. All the latest breaking details on that. Then we'll be looking at the oil deal formulated, done last Friday, that'll bring your gasoline to the lowest price of the pump in nearly 15 years. You heard it on Friday's broadcast. I go back over the details today on this live broadcast for March 21st, 2021. Then we'll be looking at the situation in Ukraine and Vladimir Putin, which tees up 6 stimulus, happening at the same time as third and fourth. The biggest payout of stimulus you've ever seen in the history of this channel. For oil, for wheat, for grain, for the economy, for the looming recession. You heard me right, that R word. And then for the inflationary concerns, this is happening internationally in France, Germany, and yes, the United States. But again, those big MSC checks paying out, the big money coming for fourth stimulus. It's a huge recording, and I'm so excited for the membership of the channel. From the shores of the Black Sea to the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's Mornings LA, and we have incredible money for you, incredible news. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. The MSC checks are landing, and the fourth stimulus checks are landing, and it's only here on Mornings. I have all the incredible details as we hold our coffee and we take that sip with a delicious check in hand. The details starts right now. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're good and safe. Well, hello and congratulations to the membership of this channel. MSC checks getting in the hands. Fourth stimulus checks landing in their hands. The incredible news as we need it because the recession is looming. On the breaking details of that 6th stimulus as the President of the United States going overseas to formulate that 6th stimulus deal as Odessa, the battleground for Ukraine and Russia, heating up at the time of this recording. All the latest details on that and how it impacts your wallet at home. It's a huge impact. Plus, of course, that oil deal that'll drop the oil prices down to the lowest numbers you've seen in a generation. But first, we're going to start with those third stimulus checks, MSCs, that are landing, the big money from Build Back Better, and the fourth stimulus checks that have now landed. I hope you got them. If you haven't, become a member. We're going over it in just a second. But first, we're going to start with the MSC checks. Tonight in primetime, in America's most watched show for financial news in primetime, Evenings LA. We're going to go over these checks in detail, but let's get an overview of tonight's broadcast. In that fourth stimulus check, in that Build Back Better Act, there are lots of checks that add up to about $15,000 to $80,000. In there, there's 3 clusters and 3 add-ons. Let's look at those 3 clusters right now. First cluster, hazard pay for my essential workers, 1 more year. CTC, 1 more year for the young children. The Pell Grant for the college student got in there. The home repairs for low-income families. And then the incredible money got in there to provide that elder care for seniors and also the money for young children. Plus the purchase price of a new electric vehicle, they got that money in there as well. The first add-on of checks comes from Maxine Water, just a little bit less than $25,000. For the purchase of your first home, wow, congratulations. So excited. How do you get these incredible checks of the Build Back Better Fourth Stimulus Recon? You tune into Evenings LA tonight in prime time. We'll go over them in detail. It's at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. In that second cluster of checks, we have home repairs and paid leave. Home repairs to weatherize your home, and paid leave, which is a lot of money. It is upwards of $5,000 to $6,000 a year per individual. Then they got $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people with disabilities. That is the second add-on of checks. Joe Biden campaign promised they got it in there, that free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Then we turn to the third cluster of checks, and it gets even more delicious. In that third cluster of checks, we have even more money, and let's look at it right now. Free internet for all checks, farmers checks, independent contractors checks, and then seniors getting lots of checks between the House and Senate. Wow, just a lot. Hearing checks, vision checks, dental checks, lowering the eligibility age of Medicare checks, and then the Medicaid gap fix. Wow, just so incredible. It's par for the course when we're talking about adding checks to this recon of the Build Back Better, because the other checks that they vowed to add in there, MSC. Now, later in this video, I'm going to show you how viewers have now gotten their own MSCs. It's not these MSCs. These are different. These are IRS sent out monthly stimulus checks that would be added to the Build Back Better Act. And those incredible checks would pay to individuals who got a third stimulus check. How do you get it? Tune in tonight's Evening's LA broadcast in prime time for these IRS fourth stimulus Build Back Better MSC checks. $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. Remember that number because we're going to come back to it in just a second. Now, later in this video, we'll be looking at the big success story because guess what? Countless, I repeat, countless viewers have now from this channel gotten their MSCs from third stimulus. Wow. And they got it last week, they got it this week, and they got it the week before. It pays out more than $2,000 for the first month, $1,000 thereafter. It's more than $1,000 a month, and it's more than 6 months. The members of this channel are cleaning up. They're getting on average 12 months of $1,500 checks, and many are getting a lot more. It's coming up later in this video. I'll show you how to get those MSE checks. They're landing. Congratulations to my credible viewers, members of this channel. They're getting their MSE checks bigger than Build Back Better ever would promise. Now, we'll be looking at that and those 4 stimulus checks, which are an add-on. $80,000 of checks, which have now landed for viewers of the channel as well. We'll be looking at that in just a second. But first, let's look at the CR for stimulus. The continuing resolution passed less than 3 weeks ago. It did not get a $2,000 check in there, but what it did get in there is county stimulus to reach out to your county, learn a little bit about it, and also reach out to your county newspapers because they often feature it in there. But Joe Biden back another round. Why? Because there is a sub-variant to Omicron. And Joe Biden asked for some money for COVID in that CR, did not get it, and so he's doing another spending bill as early as this week. I'll watch it, and you will as well. I'll have the latest details when it happens. That has the opportunity to put another stimulus check in there. Now, we also have the breaking details about that SS300. Remember, SS300 swaps out COLA for your inflation, not my creation. Joe Biden's creation with Liz Warren. You swap COLA out for inflation. Now you want to swap it out, as you've learned from this channel, at the highest price point of inflation, which is right now. The highest price point of a generation is 8% inflation December, January. Last week, Jay Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve, to lower inflation, debuted his first interest rate spike. Quarter basis point, aka 25 basis points. But what do we learn from the meeting, and what have we learned today? Breaking details across the board. Let's look at it. Now, you want that Joe Biden swaps inflation for COLA for inflation now, because that would lock in another $200 a month right now. And then if inflation was 4%, as Jay Powell originally said it was going to be in December, that would raise you up another $100. So that's SS300. So what did Jay Powell do this last week, and what has been said since then? Fascinating news. So Jay Powell had said he's going to do a quarter basis point over 5 meetings, 1 per month over the next 5 months of the FOMC. But last week he came in more aggressively. He said, no, I'm going to do 6 interest rate spikes of a quarter basis point over the next 6 meetings. Will be 25 times 6, 175 basis point. Number one, a little bit more aggressive, but not aggressive on the front end. I'm happy with that because it's what we call a soft landing. Soft landing means we're not coming in too aggressively on the front end. We're coming in softly. So then what did he also say in that FOMC meeting? Jay Powell also said that we're lowering inflation by December to about 1 to 2%. Oh boy, 1 to 2%. That's a little bit more aggressive. So here's what you need to know. 1 to 2% would not be another $100. By December, it would be $20 more or $30 more. So you want Joe Biden to make that phone call now to Social Security Administrator. Swap out COLA for inflation. Now we have a new twist, and it's a new revision. I had said that Joe needs to make the phone call now in the month of March, early April. I said by late April, we could be in problems. Why? Because the inflation pushes from the Federal Reserve may drop it down too quickly to, let's say, 5%. And that's not $200 a month, folks. That's $175. That's $150. Every day you wait, every month you wait, it could get lower. So I'm revising that analysis. My new revised analysis is I'm not worried to at least late April. I'm adding an extra half a month. Why? Because the analysts now are subscribing to the following belief, and I'm co-subscribing to it, that Jay Powell, drumroll, does not have the tools to lower inflation. Why? Why does Jay Powell, by raising interest rates, not have the opportunity to lower inflation? Because analysts now say that inflation is not being caused by that. It's being caused by supply chain disruption from China, from Russia. And now Jay Powell does not inherently have those reliefs at hand in his toolkit. If China's disruption of supply chain gets worse, which is likely because they're suffering a potential lockdown, they're suffering the Omicron subvariant, Russia's suffering supply chain for obvious reasons, and Ukraine, then Jay Powell does not have the tools. Interesting. That is part of the analysis I subscribe to. So I think we're fine to mid-April for Joe to make the phone call. I want him to make the phone call as soon as possible. The other part of the analysis for the Federal Reserve is, of course, the Bullard or the Waller analysis, which is their Fed governors. They are under Jay Powell, and they say, oh, no. No. Your half basis point was too weak. I don't like a soft landing. I want a hard landing. And they're saying that for April, they're going to ask for a hard landing. They're going to ask for a half basis point. Inflation is raging, says Waller in a new interview over the weekend. I really favor front loading, aka hard landing, front loading, because our right hanks need to do more than withdraw the accommodations now. So in that sense, we need to do front load, which would imply 50 basis point at multiple meetings in the near future. Ouch. Multiple meetings of 50 basis point. Do I think he's going to get that his way? This is Wallace, and also Bullard subscribes to that analysis. I don't think they will. I think Wall Street has been shouting loud and thick, do not do it. You're going to throw us into stagflation. You're going to throw us into a shortened economic growth, and it will stump the U.S. growth. I don't think they're going to do it, and I don't think Jay Powell's going to do it as well. There you go. So that is the situation on that SS300. Let's go over the analysis again. Joe needs to make the phone call to the Social Administrator head. But it's fine, I think, in my opinion, to mid-April, late April. Later than I initially said, no less than 2 weeks ago. I said early April. What happens in May, I don't know. I don't know just yet because I don't know how long this Ukrainian-Russian war is going to go on. I don't know how long this lockdown in China for Omicron subvariant will go on. If those supply chain disruptions are as big as I think they are, they're coming up later in this video, it's six stimulus, then I think that Jay Powell has it wrong. I think his soft landing is almost a hard landing. And I think Bullard and Wallace are completely out of touch. I think they're completely out of touch. They have misguided and misanalyzed the situation. You'll see it in the second half of this video when we go over six stimulus. So there you go. Now, the incredible great news is that, one, the members of this channel have gotten their MSCs. Wow, incredible success stories. The second half of this video, we'll go over Lindsay Ramirez, Olivia Summers, David Allen, Bean, and Annabelle. We'll go over the other viewers alike, Michelle Motisi. Countless viewers have now gotten their MSCs from this channel. They are members, and I'll show you how they're cleaning up. You saw the proposed fourth stimulus MSCs. These are actual MSCs. Let's go back over this. Build Back Better Act, not law, and you should not look for it to become a law this week. This is law. It's third stimulus. It's been law since last year, and the viewers, the members of this channel have cleaned up. They have gotten their MSCs. Fourth stimulus was proposing 6 months of stimulus checks. How many MSCs do they get? 12 on average, upwards to 48 MSC checks. Yes, 48 months. You're not hearing me wrong. It's incredible. And we'll go over the incredible success stories of them in the second half of this video. Then, fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus, not law would Build Back Better, but that add-on is law. And the members of this channel have gotten their $15,000 to $80,000 of checks. It's huge. And the rest of the members, they got their applications on file complete, and they are going to get paid. It's huge. The members of this channel are getting MSCs and those fourth stimulus checks. How do you get it? It's coming up after the commercial break. For now, become a member. The link's at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. And then after the commercial break, we'll go over these incredible checks. We'll go over these incredible MSCs. We'll go over these incredible fourth stimulus checks come in. It's a huge broadcast, and then we'll be turning to sixth stimulus. Yes, six has happened the same time as third and fourth. And Joe Biden is going overseas in the next few hours to solidify that sixth stimulus package. We'll go over the latest details you need to know about that as the toast is toasting and the butter is buttering. See you back in 60 seconds as Mornings LA continues from the shores of Santa Monica, California.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues in the second half of this Mornings LA broadcast. I'm so excited for the viewership of this channel. And I think one of our success story viewers is in the live chat. Congratulations to her. I'll be touching base with her in just a second. But the great news is that those MSC checks have landed. Incredible great news for the members of the channel. They've gotten their MSC checks. How can you get yours? It's coming up in this video. Then we're looking at the big breaking details of sixth stimulus. Yes, sixth, fourth, and third will be happening at the same time. If you're new to this channel, the numbering system does not mean that one comes after the other. It means that I'm just separating them out. It's Putin-caused stimulus, and all the latest details on that in the second half of this video. But first, we're going to look at the big money of the fourth stimulus. Oh, just incredible. Just incredible. Here you go. Let's go over the incredible details starting right now. The membership of this channel has gotten $15,000 to $80,000 from this fourth stimulus, and I'm so excited for you. So let's go over how you get this incredible sums of money and what this incredible sum of money is. Build Back Better Act, the fourth stimulus recon bill, is not law, but this became a law 3 weeks ago because it did not require a bill, did not require an act of Congress. It came from Joe Biden. And it was not covered in broadcast media, and you'll never hear it covered in broadcast media. In fact, you'll see it in very few places except here. As soon as it was announced that Friday, 3 weeks ago, I featured it right into the membership newsletter that night. I said, members, go get this money. First come, first serve. And the members pounced like Purple Hawks, like they should. It's $15,000 to $80,000 a household. Number one, household meaning that you don't double it or triple it like a stimulus check. It's $15,000 to $80,000. Number two, if you got a third stimulus check, you get this as well. Incredible, great news. Huge. So the income qualification is the same. $75,000 or less, single individual, you get it. It's $75,000 or less. Someone yesterday said, I don't make $75,000. No, $75,000 or less. So you don't make any money, you qualify. $150,000 or less, married couple, you get it as well. Huge news. And then, if you're on benefits, you can get it as well. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, you can get as well. I've had countless members who are beneficiaries like SSI get their applications in on file, complete, and they're getting paid. Congratulations to them. So, how do you get this incredible money? You become a member. The membership link's at the top of the chat and also under the pinned comment. By becoming a member, you get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, that features in the newsletter this information. When you open the newsletter at 7 West Coast Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the first part is the oil, crude, and grain and wheat prices of the day. And then right after that, I list the full name of the program. It's not the Homeowners Grant. It's actually a very long name. It's featured in the newsletter. Then I go over the income qualifications I just showed you. What the money can be used for. Huge, great stuff. And then we go over, then I have the actual link, the link where you go in to apply. And it's absolutely incredible. You just have to own a home. If you're a renter, stay with me, because I got MSC checks for my renters who are members in just a second. Members have gotten those incredible MSC checks on this channel. Now, for this homeowners grant, the payment is $15,000 to $80,000. You want to get that application in as quickly as possible. First come, first serve, and the members are absolutely astronomical. Countless viewers have gotten their applications in. And when you get it in, it says complete. Absolutely incredible. Here is Margaret over the weekend. Hey, LALATE, I got my application in and it says it's approved. Absolutely incredible. What else happened just minutes ago? I had a wonderful message from one of our big success stories. Remember when we talked about our rent success stories last year? Mark? Yeah, you remember him. He went from 20,000 to 30,000 to 50,000. Then he went to 100,000. Guess what? Mark applied and he said he just got approved and is getting funded. I want to go back on camera so I can say it to you. This is the first time you've ever heard it. Mark said he got approved for this homeowners grant and he's getting $67,000. Wow, incredible. On top of all the other money he's got for the channel. 100,000, now 66,000 on top of that. Huge. It's absolutely incredible. And this, my friends, is game changing. So get that application on file. What do? Go to the top of the chat, become a member, go under the video's description, become a member, and then pounce. Now let's go over what's important to understand here. Is that the applications are first come, first serve. So every day you wait, someone gets in front of you. It's not a loan, so there's no credit check. It's a grant, but it's not income, so it's not taxable. Does not disqualify you for benefits. And if you sit around and start asking questions and calling people and asking the guy who sells the tacos on the corner, don't do that. Don't waste a minute. Get that application on file. So how do you get that membership newsletter? It comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alerts, not by email, not by wavable check, not by lobster dance, not by me tossing it in the air and you grabbing it. No. It comes out via the YouTube alert system. So look for that YouTube alert system about 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. And then Central, of course, is 9 o'clock. Open it up and you'll go down in there and it'll say the name of the grant. You go in there and apply. Now, I've made very clear, I'm not a very big fan of this map, and I may not show it anymore. Why? Because the map is not updated live, and I don't want the map to dissuade you from applying. People have looked at the map and say, oh, I'm not this color, so I'll hold off on applying. No, I want you to get your application on file as soon as possible. So people initially, when they saw the map, they said, oh, pink, I'm going to wait to apply. No. Pink actually means we're accepting your applications. And then some people saw gray, oh, I'll wait off on applying. So I don't want to really show the map too much more anymore because it's a nationwide program. I don't want you to think that you have a time to wait. I want you to get your application on file as quickly as possible. On Evenings LALATE in Prime Time, I'm going to show you more of these incredible success stories with this forced stimulus money. It's absolutely incredible. And the members have gotten their application on file. It says it's approved and they've gotten funded. I'm just so excited for you. It's been live now for about 3 weeks as of today. So get in line, get that application on file. Every day you wait. In your state, hundreds, if not thousands of people get in front of you. Don't wait a single moment. Now let's look at those MSC checks. I'm so excited for the members of this channel. So very excited. Yes, Members are getting MSE checks. And I have so many updates on this since yesterday, I didn't even have time to make graphics. I had one graphic, and that graphic was debuted last night in prime time on E&E's LA. Don't miss that show. Don't miss that show. It's 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern. It was this graphic last night, and notice I made a mistake on the graphic. Yeah, can you notice the mistake? The mistake is that Olivia, who I believe is in the live chat right now, said, hey, LALATE, I got a total of 48 months of rent paid. 48 months, so I put up above 24 months. My mistake, Olivia. I undervalued her success story by half. Oh my goodness. Olivia Summers got 48 months of rent paid, not 24 MSE checks, 48 months of checks, which is giving her a total of $150,000. Just incredible. But what I want to tell you is that Olivia is not alone. And in fact, there's so many success stories coming in by the minute, by the hour, that I don't even have time to make graphics for all of them. I featured another person last night on E&E's LA. I think her name was Deborah. Well, guess what? I have more success stories right now. Let me give you some of them right now. And these are brand new. We have Lindsay Ramirez. Actually, she was from Saturday. LA, I'm getting $1,500 a month for 12 months. Incredible. Her $1,500 is actually going to be two checks every month for 12 months. One check will be arriving for $1,000 for rent every month for a year, and then $500 a month for utilities for a year. She'll get $1,500 of MSE checks for 12 months. Incredible. And then we have David Allen, who came in last night. He's a member as well. And he said, LA, I'm getting 9 months of MSE checks at $1,500 a month. Again, this is bigger than Build Back Better. Yes, Build Back Better is going to happen, but this is bigger than even Build Back, which is 6 months as they propose. There's no proposing in here, unless you're getting married. It is incredible. 9 months of $1,500 checks. It just keeps on growing. Let's look at more of the success stories. Last night in E&E's LA, you may have watched it. Bean was in the live chat, and he said, "Thank you, LA." Now I want to slow down for Bean. I want to slow down for Bean because this is really a two-part story. First, listen to the first sentence, but I want to really have you listen to the second sentence. Thank you, LA, for all your info. I got 9 months of rent and utilities and water. It's going to be $16,000. So Bean got 9 months of MSE checks, which will amount to $16,000. But it's the second part of the story, which is so important. You know, all last year I talked about financial independence, becoming financially independent so you're not going paycheck to paycheck, so that you can give yourself financial freedom. I said, I can't fix the car. The car needs a new transmission. I can't do that. But I can get your rent and I can get your utilities so then you can go do something with the freed up cash. There are 2 people in the live chat right earlier in this video who I actually put into timeout. And they said, why should I have to apply? Because it's all about financial freedom. What you need to understand is that first stimulus, you may know as a $1,400 stimulus check. I don't know it that way because I wasn't covering first stimulus. I was covering the other part of first stimulus, which was $150,000 I was getting people. $80,000, $250,000, $10,000 grants that you have to repay back, $15,000 of PUA. This was all money they got. The average viewer from First Stimulus who watched me got somewhere between 50 to about 200,000. They had to do something with their fingers. It was not automatic. And somewhere along the line, when third stimulus came around, people just thought that everything was just sort of instantaneous land in your bank account. Maybe if it is a $600 check, but if it's big, massive payout like Bean got $16,000, no one is sending you $16,000 because you're just living. They're just not doing that. They're never doing that. It's not even the MSE. MSE is not $16,000. So Bean, I love his second story of his second sentence of his message. It's all about financial freedom. Thank you, LA. Because I'm going to keep it together because I know I'm going to lose it on this comment because it's huge. Because I got $16,000 and 9 months of rent and electric and water, I now can save for a car and I won't have to walk everywhere. Just digest that for a second. He wanted a car. He wanted a car. He was sick and tired of walking. I don't have money for a car. I can't get him a car on this channel. There is no car stimulus, as I've said, for over 2 years. But he listened so well. He listened so incredibly well that I don't have stimulus to buy him a car. But I can pay his other bills so he can put it to fixing the car in the driveway. Well, he didn't have a car in the driveway. Now he will. Now he will, because this is financial freedom. This is what this channel does day in, day out. Let's continue. Annabella, I was able to get 6 months of rent 2 weeks ago. Listen to LA. Thank you, LA. And then Michelle Matusi, she got 3 months of rent deposited yesterday. She's going to go get more. Thank you, LA. It's one at a time. One at a time. Congratulations to all the incredible members of this channel who have gotten their MSC checks bigger than fourth stimulus was ever going to do. They're getting it from third stimulus, still law. So how do you do it? How do you do it? Now she's in 16 success stories. How do you do it? You reach out to a series of places. You pick up your fingers. You use your hands. You use your cell phone. And you do it and you pounce. And I've been doing this since day one. Well, actually, not day one, December 2020. In December 2020, I told people that there was this money around. It wasn't a lot of it at the time because we didn't have a stimulus package for it. It was just sitting around as sort of a residue of first stimulus. Then I also said, I'm going to prepare you how to get this money, because when it becomes law under second stimulus, I had a preview. I had an exclusive of what third stimulus was going to have in there. I said, my goodness, there's a lot of this money in there, folks. So learn how to do it, because when third stimulus hits, it's going to have a lot of it. It hit. And guess what? It's still paying out. So where are you going to reach out to? Your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage and utility assistance because of COVID. The keywords you say are those. Then you want to open that membership newsletter. It's all featured in there. And reach out to all 6 places, get multiple applications to file, and then wait a second. This is now outdated and no longer relevant. Why? Because when I made this graphic, I said the rounds are 3 to 4 months. Oh no, they're no longer 3 to 5 months. You saw it. Viewers are getting 12 months of MSC checks. They ain't getting 3 months anymore. So continue to do what you're doing. You're doing it so well. Better than I can even teach it. And then open that membership newsletter. It's all featured in there, including the nonprofits that do home repairs. Yes, for incredible viewers across the board. Get those big sums of money and do it right now. The average view of this channel has gotten $45,000. Do it right now. Don't wait. And it's just absolutely incredible. Remember, first come, first serve. Get those big sums of money. Do it right today. Get that for my renters and my homeowners. This is third stimulus. Renters and homeowners, third stimulus. And then the $80,000 is for the homeowners. What about that sixth stimulus? Yes, so sixth stimulus is heating up. We have a major deal on oil, but that will not solve sixth stimulus. What is sixth stimulus if you're new to this channel? I have a numbering system on the channel. I came up with the name fourth stimulus. I created the name fourth stimulus. I created the name sixth stimulus. And I created the name fifth stimulus. It does not mean that one has to be done before the other. So don't say, why are we talking about this when we haven't? Well, first of all, you have. You have gotten third and fourth now. But we will not have fifth in our hand before sixth. Sixth is coming before fifth. And we're likely not to have Build Back Better in our hand before sixth. Sixth may happen as early as April. Yes. Why is sixth stimulus happening? What is sixth stimulus? It is Putin's stimulus. Putin has caused economic disruption. And his economic disruption will continue for months to come, maybe years to come. Even if there's a ceasefire tomorrow, even the ceasefire right at the time of recording. His economic disruption is not just oil, although I'm going to lead with it. It's also the commodities. It is also the banking industry. It is also his potential default. So let's go over all the details of it, but we'll start first with yes. Joe Biden and Janet Yellen are going overseas, and they will be there potentially in just a few hours to do the sixth stimulus package. It started no less than 2 weeks ago when Anthony Blinken, your Secretary of State, said, you know what, you need to get off of that Russian oil and everything else Russian. And the partner allies initially said, I can't. We'll go into a recession. And he said, no, the way we do this is stimulus. They said, oh, what a great idea. So the partner allies, which are the United States, France, and Germany, are doing this to get off of Russian products for moral reasons, but for economic reasons, the way they survive France, Germany, the United States, and our partner allies, is that they have to debt spend. How do they debt spend? They raise debt domestically and then provide stimulus to their citizens. Otherwise, we go into recession. Let's go over the case in point. If you don't solve any of these issues, which I'm going to show you, they aren't going to solve some of them by May, then we go into recession. We can't go into recession first because it's not good for us. Number two, we can't allow our partner allies to go into recession because guess what? If they go into recession, then we go into recession. We can insulate ourselves as best as we can, but we are dependent upon our partner allies. If Italy goes into recession, U.S. goes into recession. France goes into recession, same thing. Why April? April is when the third individual of the trifecta will learn if he's reelected. It's France's President Macron. He's up for reelection. Germany is progressive. U.S. is progressive, but Macron is also progressive, but we won't know if he's reelected until April. All right, let's go over why 6 stimulus is needed. Number one, oil. Now, there's a major deal on oil. You saw it on the Friday evening's broadcast in prime time of Evenings LA. Don't miss it tonight. I'm going to go over more in detail. Yes, we have an oil deal. The oil deal was hatched by the White House last Friday, and it means that your gasoline at the pump will go down to its lowest level of nearly 15 years, starting in about April to May. It'll improve week after week and getting the best level by about Christmas. How many barrels? 500,000 barrels will flood the world economies starting in April to May, and then it'll grow to 1.3 million barrels by December. Dropping our oil prices, not just by 15 months to 15-year-old prices. It's huge. It's absolutely incredible. What was the cause of this? The cause of this was a deal with Iran, 15 years in the making, done on Friday. It's not signed into law, but it will be signed in the next few days. We don't know, actually. I'm thinking at the top of my head as I'm broadcasting to you live. I don't know if the president's going to go to Vienna and sign this into law. I think he would, but we'll see. Otherwise, it's huge. It's absolutely astronomical. Let's go over the other parts that are not solved, that are why we need 6 stimulus. We have the wheat problem. Today, the men of Odessa are taking arms as Vladimir Putin's about to go after Odessa. I know I've been talking about Odessa for 3 weeks, but now it looks like it's the 11th hour. And so guess what? They're not harvesting the crops. Odessa is a major agricultural area, also a beautiful arts area, but it's a major agricultural area. If they can't harvest the crops are not available, and they aren't. So that is why wheat and grain is now 10-year highs, because the biggest provider of wheat for that side of the globe is gone. And it's gone not this season, crop season, but next season as well, because they can't irrigate the crop for next season. And if Vladimir Putin starts cluster bombing that area, guess what? It's lost for seasons to come. So we don't have a situation solved for wheat and grain. That is why we need 6 stimulus, or we go into recession. Many of our partner allies are 80% dependent upon their wheat and grain, and their prices are going through the roof. Ours will as well. Even if we produce wheat domestically, we'd go in recession. Also at issue is the banking default. There's a big problem, and the problem is we do not know the exposure of U.S. banks to a Russian default or Russian devaluation. Russia's economy started this war at number 10, the largest economy in the globe. It is now going to become the next Cuba. Devalued, creditless, having no value, junk bond status, and Russia potentially likely to default on April 4th with $2 billion of principal due. If they don't make that debt payment, boy, oh boy, what's going to happen to our U.S. banks? Our U.S. banks have not told us their exposure, and we won't know to Q2, Q3. If they have a line item loss of, let's say, $500 million because they had a Russian debt investment, guess what? Joe Biden's have to do what he did day one as vice president. Come in and save the U.S. banks, because your bank locally down the street cannot go under. Suddenly, you'll see your bank not have your investment. Not a thing you want to wake up that suddenly realizes the money in your bank is not there. That is why we have to make sure our banking industry is safe. And we don't know if there's any big problem yet. That is why 6 stimulus is needed. We'll have more about that tonight in Evenings LA in prime time. But here's the big recap on a big broadcast of Mornings LA live on air. First, third stimulus, yes, those MSC checks are paying out. Upwards of 12 months, bigger than Build Back Better Act would ever pay. Become a member and learn about how to get these incredible checks. Success story after another. I have nearly 12 of them, too many to even record with graphics. And that's 12 in the last 24 hours. If you've had a success story for rent or utilities, send it to me on private message, social media, Instagram, Facebook, and I'll feature it live on air tonight in prime time. Then we have the incredible success stories of that big 4 stimulus add-on. The 4 stimulus checks have landed, and the incredible membership of this channel, you're killing it. You've either gotten the checks or you've gotten your applications approved and you're getting the checks. Huge. Just absolutely incredible. That's why you tune into this channel. This channel, people are cashing checks, not tracking checks. They're not staying by the mailbox. They are looking at the car in the driveway like Mr. Bean will soon as well. Financial independence, financial freedom is what starts right here. Tonight on Evenings LA in Primetime, we have a huge broadcast. We're going over more about those Build Back Better checks, CR, SS300, that swap from coal to inflation. What date and when is it important for Joe to make the phone call? And what are those Fed governors saying about soft landing versus hard landing? Very important, because you don't want that interest rate to spike too strong because inflation is coming down very fast. You don't want that. I'll have the latest analysis of that in prime time. And then 6 stimulus, Build Back, and those big $80,000 of 4 stimulus checks and those MSCs from third. It's a big, bold, beautiful day. I look to see you next in about 30 minutes from now as Noontime Home Edition. I Stand With Ukraine heats up. Then we have a 1 o'clock show, a brand new 3 o'clock Afternoons LA, and a big primetime show at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day, because the toast was toasting, the butter was buttering, and those checks were landing. Stay informed, stay focused. Join me tonight and throughout the day as the news coverage heats up, and we're far from over. Lots of breaking stories throughout the day. And stay with LA for more.